As your child starts reading, they're bound to make some errors. And as their reading partner, it's up to you to help guide them to figure out where their problem was. But in order to do that, you need to know why it is that they made that mistake. That's what I'm going to talk about in this section and in the next three below it. So if you think about reading as one of those old games of Tippet, at least that's what it was called whenever I was a little girl, there were three areas that came out kind of like a peace sign, and it balanced on this little pole, and the idea was to keep it from falling off as you either put on or took off pegs. Reading is like that, only the three pegs that you're working with are your eyes, your ears, and your brain. You have to use all three at the same time with the same forcefulness in order for reading to come out right. If you're using your eyes, you're using the letters that are actually there. That's all that phonics stuff that was up in those earlier videos. If you're using your ears, you're monitoring whether or not your reading sounds like we could talk. We wouldn't say, he goed to the store. So if we're reading along and we're reading, he goed to the store, well, that might be what he did, but we don't talk like that in English. We're not letting our ears help us know what words should sound like. Also, that's where patterning comes in. Like if you think about the house that Jack built and how it keeps repeating everything that happened before it. This is the house that Jack built. This is the door that was in the front of the house that Jack built. Whenever it repeats like that, using that structure of the story, that's part of using your ears. Does it sound like we would expect it to sound? The third point is your brain. Does it make sense? Does this go with what's happening in the story? If you're reading a book about a farm, you would probably find the word horse in that book. You probably wouldn't find the word hippopotamus in a book about a farm. So using those three parts of your body, that's the reading triangle, and that's what guides reading. If one of those is going awry, something is going to go awry with your reading. The next three videos are going to talk about each of those in depth, and if you think that it's a visual thing, how do you prompt your child for that? If you think they're not using their ears, how do you prompt for that? And if you think they're not paying attention to the story, how do you prompt for that?